Welcome to Jill Sand Consulting, your yoga experience. Today our yoga practice is going to take us to our mats to experience our yoga breath. We come to yoga for a lot of different reasons. Some of us come because we want to experience a freedom and flexibility. Some of us come because we want to improve our balance so we can bring balance into our bodies and into our minds and souls. Some of us come to yoga for the strength portion, knowing that we're going to work every single muscle in our bodies in a typical yoga class. And yet some of us come to yoga looking for some peace or some time for meditation. With any of those options for yoga, we want to remember that our breathing is what's going to guide us in our practice. So many of us come to yoga and take those beginning classes, and we spend a lot of time talking about the poses. And your instructor might mention that you are supposed to be breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale through your nose, exhale out your nose. And that might be the extent of our yoga breathing. It might take several months or even several years, depending on the teacher that you work with, to really develop that yoga breath. And so today I'm going to walk you through some of the yoga breath, just showing you how you can really benefit your body, mind, and spirit with your breath. So we're going to come into an easy seated pose, and that might mean for some of us to grab a blanket so we can prop our hips up a little bit, just listening to our own bodies. If we're using that blanket, we'll want to go ahead and make sure those knees are comfortable, the hips are comfortable. As we come to our pose, just bringing our hands to our knees for this session. So what are the benefits of our yoga breathing? Well, as I mentioned earlier, it's to bring calm into our bodies. Other benefits include opening our lungs, giving ourselves greater lung capacity, decreasing stress from our bodies. It can help channel us into a meditative state, and also stimulate our brain and increase our mental capacity, which we're all searching for in these busy times of our lives. So let's go ahead and find ourselves in a comfortable position. We're going to go ahead and just come to the mat, which means we just bring our bodies to the mat and settle in for our yoga practice. Let's breathe here as we inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. So let's begin by taking our right hand onto our bellies, placing the palm of the hand against that belly space that's about 2 to 3 inches below our belly button. Now with our inhale, we're going to fill up that palm of our hand as we press the belly against the palm. So the belly opens up in an expansion. As we exhale, we're going to bring that belly button in towards the spine as we squeeze that breath out through the nose. So let's practice this belly breath. That's a different way of breathing, isn't it? We're not used to breathing in this way. We're used to sucking in that inhale and bringing that stomach in. Yoga breathing is different. We're working with that lowest part of the lung, the part that doesn't get worked with very much in our day-to-day breathing. So let's take another couple breaths here. And we'll leave that right hand there, and we're going to bring our left hand up to that lower part of the rib cage, where the rib cage begins. And we're just going to place the palm of our hand against that lower rib cage. And then with our next inhale, we're going to fill up that belly space again, that lower right hand, and then bring the breath up into that second palm. So now we feel that torso expanding even more. As we exhale, we're going to release the breath from that top palm, and then release the breath from the lower palm, taking the belly button into the spine. Breathe here. And now we start to notice that our breath is moving from our belly and into that rib cage. We're taking the breath from the low lung and moving into the middle part of our lung. Those two parts of the lungs do not get much action from us, and so this is a new way of breathing for most of us. We're going to keep the left hand on that rib cage, but we're going to take the right hand and place the palm right across the top of that chest area. And now with our next inhale, we're going to fill up that belly space, fill up that rib cage, and then push the breath as high up into the chest as we can. That may be difficult for many of us as we start our yoga breathing. As we exhale, we release from that top palm, the middle palm, and then take that belly button into the spine, squeezing that last breath out of the lungs. So this is our three-part yoga breath, and this is the breath that we want to be working on when we work with our strength poses and our holding poses and stretches in yoga. Each inhale, we feel that breath move from the low lung all the way up into that upper lung, opening through the chest. Each exhale, we release that breath and just squeeze it out of that lung with the belly button coming into the spine for that final exhalation. Continue practicing your breathing. When we work with our yoga three-part breath, we can use it, as I mentioned, to move through our poses. But this is also the breath that we can take when we're bringing ourselves into a state of calm. If we have a stressful day or a stressful life, this is a wonderful way to end your day, at the end of the day, to calm down before going to sleep. It's also a great break to take in the middle of your day. Just stop what you're doing. We can take 4 to 6 of these calming breaths, these three-part breaths, just to release that stress from our bodies. So 4 to 6 breaths takes about a minute. We have a minute for ourselves, don't we? Sometimes in our yoga practice, we take these 3 breaths into different lengths. The rule of thumb is, if you want to really calm down your body, what you want to do is make sure that exhale is longer than that inhale. The rule of thumb is, in a regular yoga class, we want to keep the inhale and the exhale equal length so that we don't get too tired after class. After all, yoga is meant to wake up the body and feel alive. Let's take 2 more of those deep breaths. And then as we finish that last exhale, we'll take our hands back down to our knees. We're going to move ourselves back into our belly breath, reminding ourselves to use that inhale to fill up the belly space. We press that belly button against the waistband. We feel that opening. Exhaling, we take that belly button into the spine as we release that breath through the nose. And then from here, we can just move into a nice, easy breath as we inhale through our nose and exhale out our nose. And thank you very much for joining me at Jill Sand Consulting. And thank you very much for practicing this yoga breath with me. Enjoy the rest of your day.